This is Samsung's sold-out Galaxy Z TriFold, and I haven't been this excited for a phone launch since the Galaxy Fold 2 about 6 years ago. I'll explain why in a minute, but first we gotta get this out of the box. Just a quick reminder, I do have affiliate links to the TriFold in the description and pinned comment if you want to see if this has come back in stock, but these are likely going to keep selling out pretty quickly for a while, so best of luck to those of you who want to get one. So it's just one pull tab, and then we can flip the top up. Then we get another box here, and we get the phone there. I'm so excited to take a closer look at that. I want to see what's inside this box first, though. So it looks like we get a case. And this case looks really small. Like this, hinge protector here is way smaller than I was expecting. Everyone's talking about how thick this TriFold is, and this doesn't look that thick to me. So let's keep going here. So the second box gets us a USB-C cable, SIM ejector tool, and a quick start guide. And now we can take a closer look at the phone. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. Oh man, this is crazy thin. This is my first time actually seeing this in person, and this is wild. That's so cool. All right, I'm going to set this to the side and see what else we get at the back of the box here. You get a little divider, and yes, here we go. A 45-watt charger in the box. That's awesome. Every foldable up until now has been 25 watts. So a significantly faster charging is great, especially on something with such a large screen. This battery, I'm guessing, is going to die significantly faster if you're using that main screen, but I'm going to have to do some testing to see if that's actually the case. And it looks like they tell you right up front that you fold the non-camera side first. So it's like this side folds in first, then the camera side folds in second. So let's go ahead and take this off. And we had a little arrow there telling us that the SIM card goes in this side right here. So this is a huge display. That's super cool, man. And right off the bat, you can barely feel these creases right here, but this is true of every new foldable. It's true for the Fold 7 and all the other ones. When you first open them, since they kind of start in this open position, the creases are barely noticeable at all, but as soon as you fold it and keep it folded for even just a few days, they do start to become more noticeable. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold this then. So we fold this side, the non-camera side first, and then we fold the other side. That's cool. So, whoa, that snaps. That really snaps open hard. So that was another thing I was concerned about is this going to actually open flat, or is it going to be kind of bent in a little bit? But it does look like it opens completely flat. And it has a really nice snap to it too when it unfolds. But folding it in, there's no snap point here. This is just kind of loosely fitted in there. The one that does snap closed is the second half. You can see it kind of just snaps closed there. Now we'll pull this protective layer off. Now I can see what people mean about the thickness of this device. Like, it's definitely much thicker than something like the Fold 7, which is an extremely thin device. But people often forget that just one generation before that with the Fold 6, it was this thick. And that's actually almost the exact same thickness as the TriFold. If I hold these two up right next to each other, you can see that the Fold 6 is barely thinner. And if we go back one more generation to the Fold 5, that phone was actually thicker. Now, when it comes to the weight of this device, a lot of people are saying that this is a super heavy device, and it is definitely heavier than especially something like the Fold 7, which is a very thin and lightweight device. But this isn't actually that much heavier than like the Fold 2, for example. It's about, I think it was like 30 grams heavier than the Fold 2. And when you consider the fact that this thing opens up to an absolutely massive display, being only about 30 grams heavier than a Fold 2, for a first generation from Samsung on this type of form factor, that's extremely impressive. Now here's something I did want to check. So I obviously haven't turned this on yet, and you're not supposed to fold the right half first because it'll start buzzing and telling you not to do that. But if you do try to do that when it's off, obviously there's no warning, but it does hit right here, and you're gonna know right away that that's definitely not gonna close. If we pop this case on, let's see how this looks here. So the case is obviously a very minimal case. It's really only for some camera protection. You can see that it is raised up a little bit over those cameras right there. But this is obviously going to do nothing to protect the face of the device. But it is nice that this edge is right here to protect the side of the phone or the hinge of it. So for backdrops or side drops, you're going to be at least a little bit protected. And since this is on a spring hinge that does feel like it also has a magnet on it, it does move out of the way very easily when you need to open the phone. And closing it up, it just snaps right back into place. So let's go ahead and turn this on and take a closer look at the screen. There it is. Well, I thought the battery was dead for a second. It took a little too long to start. Anyways, while this is starting, I want to flip back over here and look at the back. I'll take this case off for a second too. So the TriFold actually has the same camera array as the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and I've already done a deep dive comparison between the Fold 7 cameras and the Fold 6, 5, 4, and even the S25 Ultra cameras. So if you're curious how the TriFold cameras are going to perform, you can check out that other video by clicking the card above or the link in the description and pinned comment. All right, looks like the phone is booted up, and if we go ahead and open the screen from here, oh man, that is a massive screen. Hold on, let's get some comparisons going here. So this is the TriFold, and here is the Fold 7. Looks like I've got some glare from my lights, so let's go ahead and switch this around here. There we go. So that's just a huge difference in screen real estate. That's crazy. And the Fold 5 and 4 had even smaller screens than the Fold 7. So when comparing to those, like this is a huge difference. And here it is next to a Tab S9. This is an 11-inch tablet, so you get an extra inch of screen here compared to the TriFold. But you can see the screen sizes are pretty comparable, and this one doesn't fold down. It has thicker bezels, and the tablet itself is also thicker. The other thing I was curious about is how the screen feels when you swipe across it. Like, would it be obviously a plastic type screen, or would it feel like glass? And this does feel pretty close to glass. It feels very similar to the Fold 7 and even the Fold 6 and 5. So if you're familiar with how those inner screens feel, this is going to feel very similar to that. Something that's a potential point of concern is if I'm going to be running my fingers across the creases a lot in this type of form factor, because with the foldable form factor, the regular Fold, you almost never run your fingers across the center. Everything you do is pretty much on the sides. So I never notice the crease at all on my Fold 7. I never even see it either, because when you're looking straight at it, there's no crease to see. It's only when you turn it to the side and you have a light source coming that you can start to see the crease. And as far as visibility goes, it's the same for the TriFold. I don't see the crease at all looking straight at it, or either of the creases. But when I turn it towards a different light source or turn it onto an off axis, I do start to see the creases. And in general use, I don't know if my fingers are actually going to run across the middle that often. But this is something I am going to be paying attention to as I test this device out. Another potential concern I have with the TriFold is that this is kind of an all or nothing deal. So you can either have this massive tablet screen, but there's no half fold option. And I feel like there are still going to be times where I'm going to want this type of form factor instead of it being all the way open. But I'm not going to know for sure until I use this more. So that's something I'm going to address in a future video once I've had more time to use this device. Durability is another point of concern. I've already seen the videos where people push on these back hinges right here, and they are able to just completely break the phone in half. So that's obviously a concern. But I think the easiest way to avoid that kind of problem is to make sure you always close it when you're done using it. Leaving it open on the couch is just asking for disaster to happen. Though it was nice to see that Samsung did get IP48 dust and water resistance. So basically this can take a soak in the water, which is great, but that 4 rating for the dust honestly doesn't mean too much. If you're going to be going to the beach, I'd be very careful with this device. You don't want to get any sand in here. This is not rated for that kind of dirt. When it comes to opening this device, Samsung did a really good job on this design because there's a little lip right here. The bottom part sticks out just a little bit further, so you don't need to get your fingernail in there to open it. You can just use the side of your thumb, and it opens really easily. Then when you finish opening it up, you can easily just get your thumb on this part as well and pull that right open, again, without too much force. So you don't need to worry about having to get your fingernail in there and possibly scratching your screen. The side of your thumb works very easily. Even if you've got huge fingers, I don't think you're going to have a problem opening and closing this phone. So the reason I was so excited for this TriFold is twofold. One, this is a new form factor, and it's a really cool looking form factor at that. So just getting to see a piece of new technology is really exciting for me as a huge tech nerd. But more importantly than that, it really comes down to usability and functionality of having such a large inner screen, because I've been daily driving foldables for years, since the Fold 2 was released. That's been my go-to device. And I've always felt like the inner screen was big enough to get a lot done, but not always big enough for the things that I want to do. And I'm starting to feel that way more and more as time goes on. And I'm hoping this TriFold solves that problem. but I'm going to need about a week to really test that out, so consider subscribing and turning on notifications if you want to see my thoughts on that. While you're waiting for my longer term impressions on the TriFold, you can check out the camera comparison that I mentioned earlier by clicking this video here, or you can click the links below to see if the TriFold has come back in stock. That's it for this tech episode. Jesus loves you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one real soon.